Welcome to another rum-fueled treasure hunt! Yes, in the sharky waters around the Gatsby Islands, we're deep diving Queen Ray!
Woohoo!
Paul the pirate.
Hello.
And Ola, the pirate and Gatsby scribe. Yep.
Hey!
Today we're doing Gatsby Function with stripe on the side. What?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
A little bit of stripe on the side. Oh, we got loads of people. I love though, Paul, like you are the least prepared you've ever been for a stream, and we've never had this many viewers.
And they never had a fight.
It's fate. It's fate.
It's going to be okay. I mean, well, let's when we dig into it, I'll explain why I'm prepared in the sense that we can get something working. It's not the thing I wanted to get working, which is why I feel a little bit unprepared, because I like to have a plan, and this plan didn't work out, and I'm annoyed with myself. I got a lot on. I couldn't.
We got some new people. We got some. I mean, Meltwater is back.
Way! Meltwater.
So, and there are also some other fun people in the chat. And Ineza is asking us, curious to know if Netmob have ever met in person, except Ray and Ola. I just saw the beginning of this question, and I'm like, yes, I've met Ola. We made a child. But no, we have never met Paul, ever, because we got to know Paul, or I got to know Paul first when we were doing drinks, Corona drinks. Lock-up drinks, Friday night lock-up drinks.
Lockdown drink. Well, actually, the story goes back even further, if anyone's curious, which was one of the first Gatsby plugins I made, which weirdly enough, actually, is something I'll talk about later. Benedicte had made a very similar plugin, and when I was doing research for my plugin, I found Benedicte's repo, and so I credited her on my repo. And then it wasn't until about a year later when a mutual friend pulled us into like a Friday night's drinks, and you were on it, and I was like, oh my god, like I know who you are, you're famous. And then I said, oh, I've credited you on the readme, and you were just like, whatever. So
I was like, you stole my plugin. Yeah, no, so absolutely good. I don't know, I feel like this last couple of years, I kind of got my 90s internet back, where I managed to just like find communities and have friends on the internet, and not just like, you know, or like internet friends, because for a long time it was only like Facebook with people you already knew or already met. But then the last, I guess year-ish, I feel like I've made so many new internet friendship, including the chatter Inessa. So I have so much enjoyed the internet the last year. And like a crying emoji, laughing crying emoji.
Is that how you introduce people to Ula? You're like, oh, this is Ula, we made a child together.
It kind of is, because we never married, and it's like either that or it's like my partner, and then it's like, or my like baby daddy. I don't know what to say.
Weird.
Weird. So I probably should just call him my husband. He's basically my husband, just not like on paper.
Yeah.
I always call you my wife, but I've heard that you should never say the wife.
Ooh.
That's fighting words.
Oh, I didn't know.
Not either,
I don't know, because I'm nobody's wife, so I don't know these things.
You are.
And I'm single, so I've clearly been getting it wrong. So don't ask me. I don't know anything.
Thank you for that introduction question. What are we doing tonight, Paul? You asked me to pull up some web pages. Maybe I should share those.
So get some screens up. So we talked about it once before, and I wrote a blog post about it. And we talked about it when we had Kyle on Deep Dives, which was Gatsby Functions for an abstracted API. I know that sounds kind of confusing, but the general idea is that I have a site, which is called Pauly API, which just exposes data from endpoints. So it's not a very pretty looking site. But within that site are Gatsby functions. One of them hits the Twitter API.
Would that be API Twitter or?
Twitter user, I think it is.
So you've created several functions here in your API.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then there's a GitHub one. What that allows me to do, I can see you've got the two other tabs open there, is on my blog, paulie.dev. That information under my name there, Jamstack developer, technical content writer, freelance, and my location, that all comes from Paulie API. I also have another site, which is my commercial website, pauliescanner.io, and you'll see the header there, Jamstack developer, technical content writer. That again pulls the exact same information from Paulie API. So it allows me to have one location that's handling server-side data requests, but two front ends that communicate to it. And it was also kind of important as well initially because both of those sites are built on my theme. And at the time, my theme was on Gatsby version 2. And of course, functions weren't enabled until Gatsby v3. So when I built the API and upgraded it to v3, I could still access the data in two sites that were still on Gatsby v2. I'm rambling, but the general idea is you have an API that is its standalone Gatsby site. It just exposes endpoints, and then you can hit it from anywhere else, providing CORS doesn't get in your way, which it has, but we're going to work around it tonight.
But so this also means that you could create an API, using Gatsby functions and just have that sort of dummy front page that is basically just like documentation, I guess, or like a test of Paul's functions. And you could create an API for, anywhere. So if you already have a site or you're working at a company that has a site on a totally different stack, but you want to make some endpoints that stack could call, then you could create one of these kind of standalone API sites, or you call it abstracted API because developers love to use vague names.
Or in that case, a very descriptive name that explains exactly what it is.
No. So you could do that. Or if you, as like Paul, you have several sites and you would like to just have one API, you could do that as well. So that is a fun way to get started, I guess, with functions also, if you don't want to change up your whole, tech stack or site, or there are many reasons to doing it this way. Or if you want to decouple it, so someone works on the API and someone works on the projects. Yes.
Yeah, and there is one last.
Okay. Just a message.
There is one last link I've just popped in the private chat. So how this leads on to what we're going to try and do with the Stripe make payment button is that if you had, say, like I do, a number of open source projects that you might want to collect payments for, I have MDX embed. What I wanted to do was put a button on here that would say pay what you want, which would hit the Paulie API endpoint. And the product I've created in Stripe is specifically for MDX embed. But if I had multiple open source projects, I could hit that same Stripe endpoint and just pass in a different product. And then you could donate to different open source projects all from one API. That's the bit that doesn't work, so let's skip over it.
And the reason being, in this case, that this page is created using, I never remember what it's called. Storybook. Because there's a product called Storyblock. I always confuse them. Storybook, which is great for I guess, documenting component libraries, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So then this site is then just like in a different. So when you deploy this site, it doesn't really have the option of deploying API or deploying serverless functions, and that's when you could then call your standalone API or abstracted API from this project as well, or as many projects as you want. So let's get into it.
Yes, but before we do, my vape battery's just run out. Be right back.
You just leave.
What?
Okay, then. What's everyone drinking?
I know what to do. We'll bring Paul in here.
Oh yeah.
You know that, Meltwater. Oh, he's coming! Oh no!
Right, back in the game. Sorry.
So for new folks, we have a running joke that Meltwater is Paul because
Oh.
Meltwater is always a fan of Paul. So until they reveal themselves, that's going to be the standing joke. That's
What, you think I was just nipping off screen to post a YouTube comment as Meltwater?
Yes, yes.
Brilliant. Well, we'll see, won't we? If a curious comment appears in the chat saying how great I am, then maybe I did. Oh yeah, thanks myself. Meltwater. Right, anyway, should we get to it then? Because we need to get through this.
Yes, let's do.
Right. So, give me some VS Code action.
Woo! I just revealed some secrets, but I think it was fine.
Great. Thanks. Are you sure you're on the right branch there?
I have no idea.
Which branch are you on?
I'm so sorry. Paul has to go and roll his secrets after this show.
Good Lord.
Well, I didn't reveal your credit card number. I've revealed my credit card number on another show. So
I suppose it's something to be thankful for, isn't it?
That is something to be thankful for. So, okay, here's
people.
Oh, so I am on the wrong branch. Okay.
You are on the wrong branch, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
That's fine.
I am not the only, or Paul isn't the only one who is
Paul is giving himself, he's giving himself compliments again.
But you can always tweet at, DM me, Meltwater, if we're taking it too far.
It's great to have you back, Meltwater. We missed you, Meltwater.
We did.
Did you go traveling or somewhere?
Let's see.
This summer? Yeah, people would like to know what you've been doing this summer. It's come on, tell us some stories in the chat.
I'm trying to. Okay, there we go. How do I check? I don't know.
You can do it. You can do it.
See, now I'm stressed. I'm like, okay.
But I'm getting lots of messages in the private chat. Eyes not for me. Good. All right.
Why can I not check out? Oh. Suddenly, I can't even remember my Git. Now I got a new branch. How do I pull in this branch? Whenever there's a PR, it tells me how to do it.
I'll tell you what you can do. Check out main.
Yeah, I've already checked out main.
Yeah, and just branch off main and just make yourself a new branch.
That's basically what I've done now.
Oh, hang on. No, that won't work. We do need that. We do need that branch because you need a page. So you need to get that Benedicte branch that I made. Otherwise, we won't be able to see.
How do we pull the... Okay, I know how to do it. I know how to do this. I can do this.
Just do git pull origin, make stripe payment, Benedicte.
That's exactly. But I was just blanking completely.
Oh, I thought you tried it and it didn't work.
No.
Oh, well, couldn't find
remote ref. Shouldn't that be correct though? So sorry, everyone.
That's
fine. Do you want me to turn it into a PR and then you can pull it from the PR?
I mean, I don't know.
Right, no, there you go. It's now a PR. if you want that. What a car crash.
Oh, the PR isn't even giving me the info. What has happened to you, GitHub? It's just saying conflicting. Oh.
Have you got uncommitted changes? Branch. You've probably done. Because you've got a package lock because you installed on the wrong branch, right?
Oh boy. Git fetch origin. Oh, it's git fetch.
Oh.
But you always use Axios, don't you?
What are we talking? We're not talking. We're just trying to get the freaking Git repository.
If you uncommit the package lock, just in case that's causing a problem, because you've got a staged or a changed file, because you installed from the wrong branch. Benedicte.
Oh, I don't know what I'm doing tonight. Can somebody just get branch delete, and then we're gonna delete that branch that I made. Oh, see, I showed your things again.
Yeah.
Why don't you do that, and then me and Ula can have a catch up and chat. Why don't we do a semi early plug?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I get. Oh, good lord! Can I get some screen action?
Yeah. You must put it so I can add you.
All right, hold on.
Hi, Lila.
Share.
Oh, it's feature slash.
Oh, are we? Do you want me to
No, just 2 seconds.
do the plug?
Yeah,
Yes.
just do the plug because I need to do some more
plug?
stuff.
Yes, kommer du förbi?
You'll need to install. Right. I can't share screen.
Paul. Give me a screen.
Here we go. Right.
Yeah.
Is that going to work?
No, nothing.
Oh, it's because I upgraded my OS and I need to
Didn't
give
do that.
Chrome access, and it wants me to quit and reopen. All right, I can't do it. Ula.
No, you're not here.
Let's just riff it. Is everyone taking part in Gatsby Funk Jam? If you Google Gatsby Funk Jam, you'll bring up the page that I was going to talk about. Ula, I noticed that you've forked
You
the
wanted the
repo in your
Funk Jam
video.
page? I can do that.
Yes.
Funk Jam. So, it's a great name.
It is a great name, and we don't know who came up with that name.
No,
We know who came up with
It's
that
unclear.
name.
It's unclear.
Oh. I should become an ambassador for Axios, but it's an open source project, so I think anyone can be an ambassador.
Oh, yeah?
See, this is what happens when everyone joins our stream. Like, there's so many people watching, we're just messing it up.
There you go.
That's the pressure. Right, so here we go. So Funk Jam is the latest Gatsby, I guess, community competition. And as you might have guessed, it's all about functions. There are some super duper prizes to be won. If Ula, you can scroll down just a little bit.
The Mac Mini, Lillian has already said she wants it.
So look, an M1 Mac Mini. I believe there's a couple to give away. And if you scroll up a little bit, Ula, there's the link to the repo.
Oh, the repo.
Oh, is it scroll down a little bit? Where is it?
I have my own repo. I recommend you all use that. It's better.
Up. It's under resources, I think. Up. There you go.
Up.
There you go. So there's this repo, and they encourage you to fork this. But as Ula and myself found, that wasn't necessarily the easiest way to do it. So if you do fork that repo, just delete everything and start again. But I think the idea behind the fork is that you can see who is taking part.
But you must make a git ignore file, or else you will be FUCK'd like I was.
Yeah, there is a PR I've created to add the git ignore to that repo. But anyway, bottom line is they want you to build some Gatsby functions to demo them. And the key bit, and it's important probably not to miss this because it mentions it in the judging criteria, is to document how your functions work. So probably in the README, I'm guessing here, but it will probably be a case of like, explain what the endpoint is. So API / name of the function, explain whether it's a get or a post, explain if you're going to be passing anything on the headers or on the body, how it would work, an env.example or an env.sample to be put into the repo as well in case you're using third-party services and you need API keys. So it's important to put that in. And then, when judging takes place, you could be in for some prizes. And I would like everyone who's involved in our stuff to do it, because me and Benedict have done a lot of stuff with functions over the last 6 weeks or so. And we're happy to help, and we want to make some really great stuff. So if you've got a couple of hours to when you fancy a go, then please do. And obviously find us on Twitter if you've got any questions about it. Plug over. I didn't even get a whistle. Are we ready? Are we ready at 20 minutes in to write some code?
Do not.
Let's go.
Not be snarky with me.
Sorry, Queen.
Queen is never late. Everyone else is simply early.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, we were on time. It's,
Okay.
Okay, I don't know why your Twitter function isn't working, but everything else, just let me double check that your secrets are gone.
Nej, let's go now.
Okay, your secrets are gone. From the. I'm really sorry about that,
Okay.
Paul. I should not make that.
That's
yeah.
all right.
Okay, so
worry.
I opened the Stripe payment
what we
page.
wanna, yes. So if you navigate to that in localhost, it'd be localhost 8000/Stripe-payment.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just a dummy page for the moment, so we can sort of see what we're doing.
So this is a dummy page to test the function we're going to make.
Yeah. So it's basically.
I mean, this should default to a lot more, Paul. Defaults are important.
This isn't going to go live. This is just because I had problems because I couldn't get it on MDX. Anyway, the point being here is we've got an input value and then a button. So the button is going to call the function, and we're going to pass through this value. So people can donate or pay whatever they want, and that will be the value from the input. So,
and where did you learn to do this, Paul?
I learnt this on a cheeky little podcast, a cheeky little webinar, sorry, called Summer Functions with Queen Ray. You may have heard of her.
Yes.
Me too. I did it too.
You did it too. I think more people taught. So we're gonna take that $10. We're gonna press the make donation with Stripe, and then we want to see a call to a Stripe function that we haven't made yet. So I'm not gonna try and press the button yet.
No. All right.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's write this function. So we need a new file, and it's going to be called make-stripe-payment.js.
Yes.
And then do your usuals, which will be export default async function handler.
I'm not copy pasting. You're copy pasting. Okay. And then the try catch.
Yeah, we need a try catch.
Let me see how you usually do them, and I'll just basically do what you've already done.
Yep. And we also need to bring in the Stripe node module, so we can do right at the top of the file const Stripe equals require Stripe. And Stripe requires a environment variable, which Benedict has probably exposed for us, but it will be process.env Stripe_secret_key, which is in capitals.
Process env Stripe secret. What more was it called?
Stripe secret key.
Okay.
That's it. And then, yeah, so now we can head into the try, and this is kind of straight from the Stripe doc. So it's const session.
I can copy paste that since we're already running a little low on time.
Do it. Copy paste it.
Would you not have it in your cheat sheet, Paul? I can't see it.
What, in the PR?
Mm-hmm.
It would actually be on main if you want to find the dummy function, if that's easier.
Yeah. I'm just going to take my... Oh, okay. Oh, let's write it out then. I don't even know. Wait.
Well, it's... Here, look. Here's a link
Make
to
payment.
the live one.
File changed. I can just feel my head cannot do that much typing today.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Where is it? There it is. So we're creating a session with Stripe.
Mm-hmm.
Checkout session.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this creates a checkout session. We're going to pass into that create function a success URL, which is the URL that Stripe will redirect us to if a payment is successful, a cancel URL, same thing, but if if the checkout is cancelled, there's a couple of other configs in there for the payment type. And then the tricky part is the line items there, where, I mean, you did this, not me. I can't take any claim for this, but typically what you would have for a product is a price associated with it. And in Stripe, price gives you a price key rather than a value. But in our case, because we're asking users to pay what they want, we don't want to use the Stripe price key. We want to use a different price endpoint, which is price data, and then pass in the unit amount. And as you pointed out, unit amounts are done in pence or cents. So we have to times by 100 to make it a full dollar. And then obviously the currency. And then the product is the product ID. So this is all going to be sent from the front end, which was on that button click that I showed you. So we just need to destructure a couple of these variables or params from the request body. So probably outside the try catch.
I've already copy pasted it in.
Oh, I've already done it.
You're
Sorry.
getting
Okay.
amount, successor, canceller, and product from the body, and then we use those to create a session. And what's interesting, if you want to Google for this, or not Google, but search the Stripe API, it's called price data object, where we are allowed to create new price or like once-off prices. So using this price data, you're not creating a price object, like a ready-made price object in Stripe. You are just creating a one-off payment. And this you cannot do in the front end. So if you already have a price point and a product, you can actually redirect to a checkout URL straight from your front end, and you wouldn't need any serverless function. But if you want to add metadata to that checkout, or if you want to have like a pay what you want type of a situation like we have here, you will need to create your own serverless function or some other kind of backend code, because that's only allowed to be done from the backend. Because otherwise people, like if you only did it from the front end and it wasn't like their whole like thing where they've created prices and products like in Stripe in the backend, and you redirect to those from the front end, is that people cannot then just like fake a price from the front end. But in this case, we do want to allow people to give whatever price. So that's why we have to send it through a backend, like a serverless function.
Sure.
Yeah. Rant over.
Yep. And then what this response will be, so what session will return, and if you've worked with Shopify, and this is really the only comparison I can draw, is that what will happen with that response is, because we're sending up all of this information to Stripe, it then creates this kind of instance of what they would call a checkout. And so a checkout would contain all of that information: the price, the product, who the account is, where the money's actually going to go. And it will return to you a URL. And I've sent it back on a 200 there under the URL key, and it's session.url. Once we have that URL, we can then surface that in the UI. So when users make the donation or make the payment, we send the data, the session does its thing, returns the URL. On the UI, I add that URL or change the button. And then when you click it, it will actually take you over to Stripe's checkout experience, where it's fully secure and you can put in all your bank details. We don't want to be handling that on our end.
Never, ever.
Yeah.
Do you want to handle bank details? I just saw a question actually in some forum I'm in, where somebody asked like, well, we just want to save somebody's credit card so that we can, as like a pre-order, so that we can charge them later. Should I do that? And like, and I can't remember what the suggestion was. And everybody who had like any dev experience we're like, no, don't. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to do that. So you never want to save people's checkout data, because if you're not a payment handler, though, if you don't work at Stripe, because that is easily leaked, and then you're responsible for leaking somebody's credit card data, and you don't want to be that person.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. It's like by just kicking your users over to an actual, payment vendor URL, all the responsibility is now on them to ensure that user's data is private. I said the only comparison I can draw is Shopify. Shopify sort of headless experience does the same thing, where you create the checkout instance, and then the URL you get takes you over. And we should, if you save and run that should work? I mean, let's find
Yeah,
out.
but
If we
I
go
think
back...
we need to uncomment some code here in your front end because
yeah.
make Stripe Stripe blah blah blah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm drinking.
that's it.
I found this new ready-made gin tonic and grapefruit juniper drink that it's working that I needed tonight. I mean, it's Friday night, and all of that. Isn't there a song? There's like it's Friday night. Anyway, so we are posting to Axios to our own Gatsby Serverless Function or Serverless Gatsby Function API make Stripe payment. We send in the product because in this case you want to reuse this function again and again for all of your different open source project. You take the input or the value, that input value that they gave you, and then we have the success and the cancel URL, and I see that that is just back on this page, and then there's a little bit of
that's just to handle
loading.
some UI stuff. Yeah. So
let's see if this works. I might have to install Stripe because I don't know if you've done that already for me. But
oh no, I got distracted. So you got 2 Gatsby functions here, right?
No, 1 Gatsby function.
Okay. Well, I got distracted.
There we go, magic. It works. Brilliant.
Woo! Every little helps. Do you want to blow? Woo!
I mean, you can. Should we test this as well? If you up the input value from the page, what we should see is the checkout will get created with that amount.
Oh, you kicked us over
it's a new window.
page.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I never do that. I always send people back.
Probably shouldn't have done that either. Actually, sorry.
Because now, there we go. So let's say, I mean. Let's see how much.
I'm not sure if I put a max on that. Did I put a max on it? I know I did in what I was doing elsewhere, but
I think maybe Stripe put a max on there.
Maybe, yeah.
I just send people straight to checkout usually.
There we go. So the value gets passed through. So
100. So now the Queen will donate.
You give me $100.
Well, it says test mode.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't actually get that far. I forgot I didn't even get that far with it. So yeah, this has been this has not been a good demo, but hopefully it's given you some idea. It does show
people how this can work, and also, you know, give you that idea that you could make something like this yourself. So in the webinar I had on Tuesday, and you can buy access to that webinar if you want, we go through how to kick people back and then also give them information about the sale after the fact with the get function as well. But we managed to do it, and now you're just having problems with your course issue.
Yeah, I think what it is, so in the case of that page.
But just 2 seconds. Let's see if we have any. So do anyone have any questions? Since we have been a little muddly today, if you have any questions about Stripe payments in a Gatsby function, you know, just hit us up in the chat and we can try to explain. I worked quite a lot with Stripe, and Ula's actually worked quite a lot with Stripe. He made some Stripe work. When was it? Like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, Ula? Because he's always been interested in the code that could actually, you know, get you paid. Yes. Yeah. Do you think
it's very important, this whole thing, because when you take payments, you want somebody who actually knows what they're doing, making the code. That's you people. But you also want the, you know, Stripe, which are, I wanted to check out, so do these guys really know what they're doing? And I think they're great. Maybe there's a lot of documentation, but I think it's good. The documentation is good. And most importantly, they're solid. The whole thing is solid. So let's say we do that now. Somebody finds your credit cards now, Paul, from this code stream. Yeah, that's a screw up. But if Stripe screws up, they have insurance.
Yeah.
So if they lose your money, they just go to their insurance company and they get you the money. And that's why you should have some serious people doing it, not some.
They're basically a bank by now. So Stripe is like just a global bank by now, it feels like. I think they're even testing out some like pay later, like where you can pay pay later type functionality and stuff. Well, lots of things. That's why the documentation is so huge, because Stripe has ended up offering so much, like invoices and subscriptions. Because if Paul wanted to, he could, and you have to look out for this. You could change this into a reoccurring thing. So I would have put down 100. Then you could change that to be a subscription instead of a one-time payment. And then you would see that when you go to the checkout page that you are actually signing up to pay, $100 a month or a quarter instead of just this one-time amount. So they can handle almost anything now, which is super cool. So to just summarize, we need to create a function that takes in the amount and the success URLs. You can take those in or hard code them in your function or in your process and in your environment variables. And you also need the product ID to tie this payment to a product. You can't just take a payment. And then you create a checkout session with Stripe, and then the user can pay and you get the money. Yep.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, I would add more, but I've probably spent about 2 hours on this week, and most of it was based on what I watched from your stream on Tuesday. So I have no idea.
My magnificent stream.
Yeah, it was good. I would like to solve this cause issue at some point, because I think having a payment function, a payment Gatsby function that can be reused, hence passing in the amounts, callback URLs and products, means that you only have to write and maintain this function in one place, but you can reuse it in multiple products. I don't think I will, but I could make a donation on my blog. I could use that exact same functionality on MDX Embed and any future open source project. So I think if you are looking to kind of monetize multiple open source projects or monetize multiple instances, then an abstracted single point for a Stripe checkout experience is a very handy thing. But cause is going to get in your way.
But what is it? Because your other functions work with course, because you can call them from both. So course is, what does it stand for again? Cross-origin site scripting? No, resource.
Oh God, cross-origin. What is cause? Someone tell us. Cross-origin resource sharing. Yeah.
So that means that is that like if I guess when polyscanning.io calls poly api.gatsby.io, it's changing that base URL. So you're asking something from a different domain, and the API, the API endpoint that you are asking need to allow the request to come from a different domain. Isn't that?
So the cross-origin element. So, I mean, there's the reason this does, well, the two big differences between the Twitter, the GitHub, and the Stripe, the Twitter and the GitHub are gets, whereas Stripe is post. But also the Stripe one has this kind of odd piggyback element. So the function does work cross-origin, the actual Gatsby function. But what happens is, although the origin has been allowed to the Gatsby function, it doesn't pass it on to the headers, which then send to Stripe. So that's where you would need cause middleware to ensure that those cross-origin headers get passed on to the next request. And I can't. But why does
Stripe need that? Because otherwise will they not redirect you back to?
I don't know. I suspect it is in the docs. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be the first person that's going to want to put a Stripe endpoint abstracted.
But let's see what kind of
the time to look
errors
into it.
We get. So if I spin up another instance here on 9000, develop, and then port 9. No, let's see, 7000.
To make your life easier, I can give you the live endpoint, and you can just hit it from that page. Would that be easier for you?
No, because I want to see all of the.
Well, I can give you the dummy endpoint that I was using because I've already deployed it, and because this is the thing, I got it working on localhost, and then it didn't work when I deployed.
But did you try to do it over to another?
Yeah, if that works with the cause handler, I can get it all working on localhost. The problem is once it's deployed, it doesn't work because I don't think the headers get passed on. So I can give you the dummy endpoint URL, and you can swap that out in the code in the front end so that we hit the deployed dummy endpoint.
Yeah, but then I can't see the logs of what the errors are.
Well, you can't see them in the server, but you'll see them on the front end.
Okay.
That makes sense. You should see a hang on, let me just get the.
So if anybody who's watching are like super good with this course stuff, then let us know. We could even invite you on the stream to explain or to help us out if you want to.
Right. So I've just put in the private chat the deployed dummy endpoint, which has got cause and allow cross-origin access headers. But even then, it doesn't work. And like I said, I don't think it's the function that's the problem. I think it's Stripe doesn't. I can't seem to pass it on to Stripe.
But does it work if you set the success URLs to be something different?
Well, they're all localhost. So if you change the post there, so instead of it being API make Stripe payment, change it to that URL I just gave you.
Yeah.
So that will hit the deployed endpoint, and you're passing in the right callback URLs because that's where you're running it from, right? It's on.
Yeah, but I think that might be the problem, that it doesn't want to send you back to a page,
localhost.
The page that doesn't match this one. So if we just try let's try to see if it works. If I just try to be like success, even though I know this page doesn't exist, I just want to see if then.
I see what you mean. Yeah, that's interesting. Good point. Good point.
But you might have to add the payment, like the success pages, to your Poly API.
I mean, they need to be. Anyway, yeah, I see what you're saying.
I seem to remember that you actually need to do that.
So now if we try to do...
but
now we got an error.
It should be something. Yeah, it should be the cause error, and it was something to do with the pre-flight. Well, it's definitely an origin issue.
But did you try the raw data?
If you
Oh, but let's not talk about that. Ola, it doesn't have to do with this.
Okay, good.
That's a different thing. So it's a pre-flight.
What might be helpful, because I'm sending the whole error back from that. If you, in the try catch in the front end, if you just do a JSON stringify on the error, you should see it all come out in the console. It might be easier than trying to find it in Chrome
No, but
tools.
there isn't any. Like, there isn't a response. If
Show me the front end code.
Yeah, but if you look at this network request, this post, it says course error, and you're not getting any response. Like, there's failed to load response data. You can console log the error, but it's going to be the same error.
You should get, you should be able to see the whole error. I'm seeing the whole error anyway, so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a network, so it's basically the same. It's a network error, and then you just get all of that.
So there up the top there, it says, look, has been blocked by cause, and it's a response to pre-flight request doesn't pass access control. So I don't really know what that means, but having removed the Stripe bit from the function, I know that it's not cause blocked to the actual function. The cause issue is somewhere in the Stripe stuff, and like I said, I imagine somewhere in the Stripe docs, there'll be a way to pass on access control headers. I just haven't got that far with it. I'm pretty sure that's where the problem lies, but I ran out of steam and interest, to be honest. I was like, oh, whatever.
Let's see what Stack Overflow says.
I'm just gonna take a break. BRB.
Okay, Benedicta.
Yep.
I seem to remember that you actually have to make a success page and an actual cancel page. Was it cancel?
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. Is that what you guys are doing?
I mean, it worked when we just did it earlier. I think the problem here is that the domain is not the same. So we are sending it from localhost 8,000,
Yeah,
but then,
exactly.
yeah,
That's my point.
I don't understand your point.
You need to go into your pages folder and make 2 pages. One called
Yeah, but
success.
but we're not at, it works if we're calling locally. So that
Yes,
is not the case.
Well, you can choose to listen to me or not. I don't care.
Well, I can show you how it's...
No. I just said something and I will try to do it here myself.
Because it did work when we did it localhost, and it doesn't work when we're trying to hit another URL. But of course, this isn't working because that's just the wrong URL. So what did we call it? Make Stripe payment. Let's try again.
You can do it.
The live endpoint or the local host endpoint?
I didn't use the correct, so I didn't do make Stripe payment because I guess I had to go to make Stripe payment and not just...
Make Stripe payment isn't deployed though. That's only dummy Stripe payment is deployed.
Okay, so what it is called? What did you call it? Dummy?
Dummy Stripe payment. Yeah, dummy -Stripe payment.
Okay, so let's have a look. Yeah, we're still getting the same error. But if you remove all of the Stripe data, that works?
Yeah. So, because I tried it because that's basically how the other functions work. I just set the access control header, and you see it if you go into that Twitter user or the GitHub user function. You'll see that there's a YOLO access control of stars. So and actually, if you go to pull the API on GitHub, you'll see we can have a look at what that dummy endpoint actually looks like.
Yeah,
and I've set all the control headers. I've set the pre-flights. I've added cause middleware. I just think I just need a bit more time to look into it. But yeah, the problems. I don't think the problem is with.
It might be that they don't allow it.
Could also be that it could. I am, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's in the docs. I just haven't read it. So, you know, I got as far as I needed to get, and then ran out of
time. Let's see if the chat has anything to say. The chat is awfully quiet now. Come on, chat. You can call us idiots if you want to.
Well, let's do plugs, because I don't think we're going to solve this tonight. It's a difficult one.
And it doesn't have optional requests. Trying.
Right. Yes.
Lol, you're genius. Thank you. That's exactly what we needed to hear right now. I mean, because if we were hosting this on a different server somewhere, our backend, this should work.
I'm you know, I think there's got to be something. Maybe there's something in that session create. I'm wondering if there's like an options object where you can, I don't know, add some access control headers or something. I don't know how.
I don't know why that needs it. Like, why does it? Why would it create? The only thing I can think of is that trying to redirect to different.
Yeah, it could be.
But it still doesn't work, even though I changed the success URL to something that.
Well, if
this is something I need to be better at. Wait.
Come on, she's got it. She's got it.
I know, because I know. I think I know. Let's see.
Oh, come on. If you know, that's going to be brilliant.
No, but I just have to take everyone. I'm going to remove my screen for a little while so I can sign in Stripe.
Is there an option to allow something like this?
I think
what you plug
so. In? Let's do plugs, Zula, and then I'm going to see if I can make this working.
All right, let's do some plugs. Yeah, this is my Gatsby. Wait. Yeah.
She didn't like that.
I don't know.
She woke up.
So this is my Gatsby Function timeship here. Well, it's not actually mine because it's built on Lilian's GitHub. That didn't. It's built on Lilian's GitHub and on Lilian's Gatsby Cloud. So the whole thing is, shh. I have no front end, so I do everything in the browser. So if you see that this says price here, do you see price? It's very small, price. So I just do like this. Okay, lots of money. Boom, shakalaka. And then you see here, that's the money you spent.
Cool.
And the whole thing is the same. It's the same thing that you did, except I don't really send them off to Stripe yet, because I haven't gotten that far. But I will, and then you can time travel with fake gold money. And everybody out there, you should also make your own Gatsby function. It doesn't have to be fancy.
Great. Is it my turn? I'm trying to find the setting though in Stripe. So Stripe just changed their whole dashboard. So I don't know anymore where to go for these.
Inessa says it's amazing. I take it as a compliment.
Very crazy.
My God. Very crazy. Yes.
That is a compliment.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, maybe that I was wrong, because if I enable client-only integration, that you have to enable if you're going to redirect to checkout. So maybe I didn't. Yeah, maybe my thought didn't work.
Well, if we do get it working between now and the start of Natamob Season 2, or maybe we could do a one-off stream if we do manage to get it solved. I mean, I think with a bit of time, we can do it. I just ran out of puff with it. I got it working locally, hitting the local API, but I couldn't get it working locally with the deployed API. So something.
But did you try like a localhost 9000 asking a localhost 8000, and that worked?
Yeah, that works.
Well, then I think, because I think there's a setting where you can like say that you accept what checkout, what success URLs and stuff that you allow, but I cannot find them.
Oh, what, a bit like Auth0 does with the callback URLs and things.
Yes.
Yeah. Have I seen it? I know what you mean. Like the dashboard is, to be honest, all of Stripe stuff is, because it's very advanced. It's so big. Like I think I could spend the rest of my life in those docs and still not know all of it.
Absolutely. Subscription and email, customer portal, payment method, checkout, faster checkout, appearance, blah, blah, blah. Next step. They just changed the dashboard, and I am too old for people changing things up on me. I'm like, what? Where is it? You changed it. I feel the same thing about the Gatsby docs, actually, where I'm like, it's not how it used to be. I can't find anything. And it's probably, better for new people, but it's like I was used to the old one.
Research is good though.
Because research is good, but like I've researched this already. Why do I have to research it again? Yeah, we're not gonna find it now. We'll tweet when we figure out what the thing is.
Yeah.
Because this is the last one of the summer functions, everyone, and then we're taking a little bit of a break before we're coming back with season 2. So the start date for season 2 might change. I think I've set it up for 3 weeks from now, but it might change. So my plug will be, Ola, if you want to go to my plug. So my plug would be to go to queen.ray.codes and sign up for the newsletter, my newsletter about Gatsby plugins, streams, and webinars. And I will email you when we are closing in on season 2 and what it will be all about.
Don't you have another plug, Benedicte?
What?
Aren't you speaking somewhere?
Well, I don't have to plug. Gatsby's plugging that.
I know, but I mean, it's a big moment. I think, isn't it?
Look at that!
Yes!
Hey!
Yes!
There we go. We're proud of you, anyway. That's good.
Thank
How big
you.
is that?
Yeah.
We haven't actually said you haven't actually said what it is yet. So explain.
So it's Gatsby Camp Fall 2021, where they will announce lots of new stuff, I think, and I will speak.
Live chat with the Gatsby team.
Here talks from the world's largest companies using the Jamstack. That would be me.
Yeah.
And then there's the fireside chat and exciting product announcements, and there will be special giveaways. And you can see there's loads of people from Gatsby speaking, and then there's some of us from other places. And then there's some Gatsby folks again. And Gatsby, so we're only 3 people from the outside? I thought I hadn't realized everyone was from Gatsby except the 3 of us.
Well, they're only inviting special guest speakers on. And how can one sign up for Gatsby Camp Fall?
Rich is here.
Hey,
you sign up at gatsbyjs/camp-fall-2021 and you do register now.
There we go.
And you will get an email when I speak.
Yeah. So we've all got to show up and watch Benedicte's talk. And I'm looking forward to it.
I would love it if people showed up because it's all pre-recorded talks, and that is way harder than doing live stuff, at least for me. But I will then be in the chatting with folks while I do my talk. So it would be nice with some support there in the chat while I speak. Yes. Yep.
Good on you. I'm excited by it, Benedicte. I think it's a really good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it's gonna be a good thing. But also remember to sign up for my newsletter and not Gatsby's newsletter.
And also, if you sign up for my newsletter, that's also Benedicte's newsletter.
That's also me. And if you sign up for Ola's newsletter, that is also me. Yeah. Well, I am the queen of my own company. And
true. Very true.
I actually have to shout out to Eirik, a good friend of mine, who I think it's almost 10 years ago when he was like, you're like the mother queen of everything at your company. And I was like, yes. And then it took me almost 10 years. And I just let's just own that.
From the chat.
Ooh, there might be some things coming season 2, maybe season 3 on how you can join the ranks. Right, Ola?
How they do it? The queen will take the holy cutlass and she will strike you. Is it both shoulders? Let's say.
I think so.
One's there and one's there, and no cutting in the middle.
And you are high up on that application. You are high up on that application ladder in ESSA. It's been a blast having you in Summer Functions.
Yes.
So I think that's it for today. Maybe I should pull down my plug. Do you want to? So it might be the princess that will knight people. We'll see.
Jeg må bredde boka mi.
But I can't promise that she won't cut your head off while doing it.
Did the cat survive from last week? Because we saw a
The cat,
beheading
yeah.
of the cat.
It kind of died that weekend on a sailboat, but other than that,
Jeg fant boka.
it had a little bit of an accident. But should I do the summary before we go, in case anybody happens on the last part of this show? Or do you really just want to close it out?
Sum it up, might as well. I mean, it's I think we will follow up with it because I'd like to solve this, but you know, this bit works at least.
So today, we created a serverless Gatsby function that will create a Stripe checkout session. And it needs a successor URL to send you to after payment, a cancel URL if the user cancels, some other stuff in here. It needs the amount. And this is the nice thing about doing this on the backend as a serverless function, is that you can then do a pay what you want type model, which is not possible if you're only doing front-end code. And then when you're all done, you send the URL back to the front end and then redirect your users to that URL, and they will get that nice Stripe experience where they can pay, and then they're redirected to the URLs that we have set. We have this working on localhost, but Paul wants this to be one endpoint at his Poly API URL, and when he's calling from his other URLs, polydev and polyscallion.io, there are some course issues, cross-origin, resource sharing problems that we will have to try and figure out if it's possible to, like, send it from one place and then redirect, Stripe redirect back, all that kind of shenanigans. We're going to figure that out and let you know in my newsletter or on Twitter. So we'll let you know.
Good
one.
Good. Well done.
Okay, Ola, you can do the outro then.
Yeah.
The princess looks very tired.
No. She's just...
Oi, Sam.
Good one.
Okay, Lilian, skal du spille? Læg for at følge, læg for at følge. Her er voksen.
It's empty.
Spill.
Should we get beverage sponsors, Paul?
I thought we were unsponsored, unfiltered.
We are. And rum fueled.
Yeah.
Kom igjen, spill. This has
I think my house is on fire.
Run your treasure. Spill. In the sharky waters around the Gatsby Islands with Gatsby deep diving great rain and her pirates.
It's beautiful. The voice of an angel, mate. Absolute voice of an angel.
That was amazing.
I'm pushing that button. Se Lilian, nå blir det slutt. Ha det!